This is our introduction to ratios. A ratio is a comparison of two numbers, and it can be written in three different ways. Sorry, my puppy has her squeaky toy. All right, and those three different ways, one way is called a ratio. And so let's use the comparison 1 to 2. And when you write it as a ratio with the colon, you put 1 colon 2. You can also write it as a fraction, which is 1 over 2. And the last way you can write it is in word form. And 1, you can actually write it as a word or a number, but you use the word 2. So 1 to 2. Those are the three different ways that you can write a ratio. Now here we have some pictures that we're going to use to help us practice writing ratios. So our first thing that we need to write is teeth to no teeth. So I'm going to go through and find all the ones that show their teeth. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 that show our teeth or show their teeth, so I'm going to write that number first. 9, and I'm going to write these with the colon. 9, and now I need to count the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 9 to 15, and that is my ratio. Now, something that we worked on last grid was simplifying fractions, and we can actually do that with ratios as well. And all I have to think of is what can go into 9 and 15. What common factor does 9 and 15 have, or do 9 and 15 have? And they have the common factor of 3. So if I divided both by 3, oops, I wrote that wrong. Divided it by 3. My new ratio would be 9 divided by 3 is 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And my new ratio would be 3 to 5. And that would be my simplified ratio. We are not going to focus on that right this second, but we will be in just a few videos. Okay, smiles to the total. So let's go through and count the smiles. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 smiles. So we have 4 smiles, and then the total. And when I'm counting the total, I actually include those smiles as well because they're part of the total amount of faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And the total is 24. Very good. Next, we have tongue. So the ones that we see the tongue to the total amount. All right, let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 again. And it wants to have it to the total. Do I need to go back through and count all of those again? No, because I have it right here. So my ratio of smiles to total and my ratios of tongue to total are the same amount or the same ratio. Okay, I am going to now do angry to smiles. So my angry ones, let's see here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 angry faces. I have 12 angry faces, and now I need to know how many smiles I have. Well, I could go through and recount, or I could come back over here and I see smiles are right here. And I can look at this first number because that's the first number in my ratio. It represents smiles. And smiles, I have 4. So my ratio is 12 to 4. Now let's go ahead and do one practice. If I wanted to simplify this ratio, I need to know what factor is in common between 12 and 4. Well, 12 and 4 have a common factor of 4. 12 divided by 4 gives me 3, and 4 divided by 4 gives me 1. So our simplified ratio is 3 to 1. I would like you now to go through and do the bottom 4 on your own. So pause this video and do the bottom 4 on your own. So you've completed the bottom 4 and you should have gotten the ratios 12 to 9 for big eyes to teeth. Smiles to tongue would be 4 to 4. Silly face to angry face would be 12 to 12. And tiny eyes to no smile would be 10 to 20. I want us to find the simplified ratio for 10 to 20. A common factor between 10 and 20 is 10. So I divide both of them by 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1. 20 divided by 10 is 2. Our simplified ratio for tiny eyes to no smile should be 1 to 2. Now, the order in which you write your ratio is important to the meaning. It is very important to the meaning. For example, when we had teeth to no teeth, we ended up with the ratio 9 to 5. I'm sorry, 9 to 15. Yeah, 9 to 15. Now, if I wanted to know the ratio of no teeth to teeth, no teeth is 15 and teeth is 9. You see how it flips our ratio. It shows that it is very important to put them in the correct order. And a lot of word problems will try to trick you. For example, in the word problem, they might put no teeth first, the amount, and then teeth, but then it's going to ask you the ratio backwards. So make sure you're really paying attention. It might help to highlight the different things, different colors, to help you see what it's asking. Let's do an example together. In the lunchroom, there were 100 chocolate milk cartons at lunch. So I'm going to highlight 100 chocolate milk cartons at lunch. When lunch was over, 88 had been purchased. So I'm going to do that in a different color. 88 had been purchased. Okay? So it's asking, what is the ratio of the number of milk cartons purchased? Now remember, we used this color to represent the purchased milk cartons, to the total number, and we used this to represent the total number. So this shows me that I need the number of milk cartons purchased, which if I look back in my original problem is 88, to the number of milk cartons total, which is right here. So our ratio would be 88 to 100. The number of milk cartons purchased to the number of total milk cartons. All right, and we also could simplify that. We could go ahead and simplify by dividing by 2, or let's go ahead and do that. So let's divide by 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2. 88 divided by 2 is 44. 100 divided by 2 is 50. Can I simplify it more? Yes, I can. We can divide by 2, divide by 2. Remember, if you're not sure, even numbers can always be divided by 2. Now I'm going to have 44 divided by 2 is 22. 50 divided by 2 is 25. And there is our simplified ratio. Let's look at this last one. What is the ratio of the number of milk cartons remaining? Number of milk cartons remaining. I do not have that highlighted, so we're going to have to think about that. To the number of milk cartons purchased. Number of milk cartons purchased. Okay, So it did not give me the number of milk cartons remaining, but I'm smart enough to figure this out. I know that there was 100 milk cartons at lunch. Then, when lunch was over, 88 had been purchased. And I want to know how many are left over. So 100 minus 88 gives me 22. So 22 is the number of milk cartons remaining. And to the number of milk cartons purchased is 88. 88. I can simplify this by dividing both by 2. And I get 11 to 44. And then I could actually simplify that a little bit more by dividing by 11. 11 divided by 11 is 1. And then 44 divided by 11 is 4. So for every milk carton not purchased, there was 4 purchased. And that's what that ratio is telling us. Now, you are going to have a worksheet that you're going to complete. The answer key is at the table.